In a move surprising absolutely no one who has been paying attention, Disney has removed their upcoming 2026 Star Wars release from their release date and has replaced it with an Ice Age sequel.
Cause I've been living life right like I could just die any minute. Going for a ride down the side.
Hi everyone, my name is Jake Avery. Welcome to the StudioJake vidcast where I talk about all things pop culture. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and if you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new video and consider becoming a channel member. Alright, so like I said in my intro, no one is surprised by this move. Disney has really struggled to get a grasp on the franchise known as Star Wars, the galaxy far, far away. George Lucas's sixth film masterpiece. No one is expecting anything great from Star Wars because Kathleen Kennedy sabotages anything that comes out great. The Mandalorian season 3, she got her claws into it because she fired Gina Carano, who was supposed to get a spin-off, and so they had to cram all these story arcs into The Mandalorian season 3 instead of going through a new show. Not only that, Star Wars Visions was originally an anime show where different animation studios in Japan could create Star Wars content. She immediately got her hands in that and replaced the Japanese studios, at least most of them, with other studios instead of just creating a new show. So she sabotaged that as well. She just is a constant saboteur of her own franchise, the one that she was put in charge of. And now the upcoming Star Wars film that was slated for a 2026 release has been removed completely from their release schedule and has been replaced with an Ice Age sequel. So originally, Ice Age was made by Blue Sky Animation, which was purchased by 20th Century Fox before they were acquired by Disney. So Blue Sky is no longer around, but I have a feeling they'll probably slap the label on it since they own it, and they're replacing it with this Ice Age sequel, even though Ice Age kind of came to a solid end with Ice Age 5, and also they did a little short with Scrat. Nonetheless, it seems that Scrat is being swapped in to replace Ray Palpatine. This is according to MSN.com. In a surprising move, by the way, again, not surprising by anyone paying attention, Disney has reshuffled its 2026 film schedule, replacing an untitled Star Wars movie with the next installment of the Ice Age franchise. Here's what this change could mean for both iconic series. Disney fans were surprised today when the company announced that an untitled Star Wars film previously slated for release in December 2026 will no longer be part of this schedule. Instead, Disney is bringing Ice Age 6 to the big screen, with the film set to debut on December 18th, 2026. Ice Age 6 was only recently announced at D23 Brazil. This marks the first theatrical Ice Age film since the closure of Blue Sky Studios, the original creators of the franchise. While Blue Sky was shut down in 2021, Disney's 20th Century Animation will take the reins for this latest installment. Fans can expect to see beloved characters like Manny, Sid, Diego, Ellie, and Buck embark on another adventure, ensuring the series' trademark mix of humor and heart. The Ice Age franchise has been a major office draw, with previous films grossing billions worldwide. By revisiting this beloved universe, Disney is betting on its continued popularity with families and longtime fans. The decision to pull the untitled Star Wars film from the schedule has sparked speculation about the future of the franchise's cinematic slate. With no clear reason given for the shift, some fans wondered if this signals a larger re-evaluation of Disney's Star Wars strategy. Recent Star Wars content has primarily focused on Disney Plus series like Andor, Ahsoka, and The Mandalorian, as Disney has prioritized streaming when it comes to the franchise. The delay or potential reimagining of the next Star Wars film could indicate the company is taking extra care to ensure its return to the big screen makes significant impact, given that the brand is widely considered to be in decline. The acolyte filled with audiences in Disney's sequel trilogy fractured the fandom. Given that Jon Favreau directed the Mandalorian and Grogu film will be released on May 22nd, 2026, it may just have been a temporary placeholder, as it was unlikely that the two Star Wars films would have been released in one year. Okay, so as the article kept saying, this was a surprise. No one is surprised by this move. It has long been seen that Disney is trying to reshuffle Star Wars. Now, they never will as long as they keep Kathleen Kennedy as the head of Lucasfilm, because she has one thing in mind. She wants to fracture the fandom and try to attract new fans. The problem is she's attracting new fans by trying to insert modern day politics into the Star Wars universe. George Lucas wrote The original trilogy at least is some sort of nod to classic literature and classical themes. You can see this by the way he took from not just European style of filmmaking, but also he took some from Japanese as well. He took inspirations from the East and the West and made them balance. And the prequel trilogies was more of a modern storyline where lines are kind of gray, the heroes and villains aren't so clear. And that makes a lot of sense in regards to what was going on during the prequel trilogy. Now, Kathleen Kennedy is doing what they call postmodern, where you insert political messaging in everything, every symbolism, every juxtaposition, every monologue, every conversation has something to do with modern politics, and it's just not working. Postmodernism doesn't connect with the audience because we still have a baseline for things that we consider good and evil, and it doesn't necessarily have to do with the power dynamics that Kathleen Kennedy wants to push onto the audience. We certainly saw this fail with The Acolyte, right? It was supposed to be her big moment where she goes into the High Republic, which was Kathleen Kennedy's focus. So it's before the prequels. It's that portion of Star Wars that's before the prequels when the Jedis are at their height and the Galactic Senate is at its peak when it comes to power. But instead of showing the Jedi heroically saving planets and rescuing people from marauders or criminals or rogue Sith that are still around or whatever it may be, she decides to put them in the spotlight and make you question whether they were actually heroic and good. And no one wants to see that. People don't want to see their heroes be reduced. It's absolutely ridiculous and silly. Now, as for the swap in with Ice Age, Disney is going to have to play this one very carefully because even as the MSN article that I just read pointed out, there is a big fan base in regards to the Ice Age series in Blue Sky in general because of the way they were just so unceremoniously shut down by Disney when they acquired Fox. So they're going to have to tread lightly on this one. They can't just rush in with it. They can't sort of do the turning red thing. They're going to have to actually put effort into making an Ice Age movie because they can't afford to destroy another franchise. They've let Kevin Feige get away with being a pushover, so it's totally destroyed the Marvel Cinematic Universe with him trying to insert identity politics and woke storytelling and postmodernism into the Marvel Universe. It's filled with Kathleen Kennedy. It's filled with Disney animation. Now, Inside Out 2, Deadpool and Wolverine, they were kind of outliers in this. So I don't think that it is a sign that Disney is changing because they still have several projects in development. How many Star Wars films have been announced? And then they don't officially cancel them, so they're still technically in production. But I think that swapping out the December 2026 Star Wars film, whatever it was, whether it was the Rey Palpatine movie or just some other random film that Kathleen Kennedy had on its plate, I think that that makes sense. Go forward with the Mandalorian spin-off movie and make sure that it's told in a way where audiences don't have to go back and watch The Mandalorian to understand. Wherever Disney decides to take this, whether it be Ice Age or Star Wars, they need to get their stuff together. And whoever replaces Bob Iger is definitely going to have a clear vision and a clear understanding of what audiences and fans of these franchises want. If you like that video, be sure to give it a like, share it out to all your friends, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, ring that little bell so you get notifications when I post a new video, and consider becoming a channel member. Head on over to my website, StudioJakeMedia.com, sign up for free with your email, and you can get daily articles, news, reviews, and commentary on all sorts of things pop culture. If you want to support me, head to my locals community. The link is in the description. You can send me tips for articles I post there, including exclusives for my locals community. You can also become a monthly subscriber. Another way you can support me is by checking out one or all of my novels. I've got the supernatural thriller Cacophony. I've got the high fantasy series The Seven Royals. Book 1 and 2 are out. Book 1 is All Good Things. Book 2 is Breaking the Stars. You can also get my latest novella, Blessed Child, which is a fantasy romance. Each one of these is appropriate for teenagers and for adults, so you can read along together as a family. It's a good way to have fun. Read a book together. It'll be great. Leave me a 5-star review. It really helps out small indie creators like myself. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time right here on Studio Jake.